Chauncey here. Can you take a guess what I was doing? I mean, if you said drinking, then you're not too far off. I just got a knock on my door, and what do my wondering eyes do I see? Oh, I was sitting there thinking to myself, it's about frickin' time, Steve. You might be thinking, hey, Uncle Chauncey, shouldn't you give Steve a break? I'll tell you when he needs a break, okay? Your old boy's been busy stuffing the ballot box. You definitely know that your mom has something to do with that, too. I'm here at Lockhart's headquarters, trying to make things great again. Or should I say, greasy again. Finally got the final component. Yours truly is gonna go check this out. Maybe rub a little bit of it on his junk. And then I'm gonna get back to campaigning. Oh, mama. This is Uncle Chauncey saying, make America greasy again, folks.
Hey guys, it's Brandon, and I'm back at it again with what some would say is a long-awaited, overdue review, and that is for the product Lockhart's Water-Based Goon Grease. Now, if you're new to the pomade industry, I guess not trend, but necessarily like lifestyle, culture, you've probably heard of Lockhart's. Most people have heard of Lockhart's, both intermediate and new pomade users. They're a brand that has made a name for themselves for making easily accessible products for pretty much anybody, and they have started off doing mainly oil-based, but then they branched out and did a water-based, Paradox, and then they went out and did like Enigma and all sorts of different other products that for all sorts of different hair types. So they've really expanded as a company overall. If you watch my channel, you probably knew that at least a couple of years back, a couple of summers back, I got a tester of this, and it has changed since then. But this has been in the product, I guess, in the being made production for like a really long time now. If you ask anybody in the pomade community, and you bring up Lockhart's, usually Goon Grease or Lockhart's. Oh, Goon Grease water-based. Is that the next one? But Goon Grease is normally what Lockhart's is known for. At least amongst a lot of people, it's one of their really famous products. The reason why Goon Grease was so popular was because it was a heavier holding, firm oil base that also had a lot of shine, which typically the heavier holding products don't have a lot of shine. We're varying, but that Goon Grease is just a solid, overall really easy to use, accessible product. And so what Steve was doing was trying to make the water-based version of it. Now, he already made water-based before. This is kind of a medium holding, at least it would say. At least that's how it comes off. This is the Cellar Doors Sex Machine Edition. But this, to me, although it's set on the side, it's 4 out of 5, it came off to me as more of a medium on the lighter side. So anyways, that will come into play later. So looking at the Lockhart's Goon Grease water-based label, it's awesome. It has the little goon guy on there, which is super cool. On the side, it has the goon guy too. It says the Goon Grease water-based. The label's really appealing to the eyes. I like how it's nice and shiny. The hold on the side is 4 out of 5. The volume is 3.5 out of 5. The texture is 2 out of 5, and the shine is 4 out of 5. Now, comparing that to Paradox, they both have the same hold. The volume is better on Paradox. The texture is better. It's 2.5 instead of 2. And the shine is the least on this. It's 2.5 instead of 4. So it sets themselves apart a little bit. Now, if you're familiar with Paradox, there's a certain way you need to apply to get the maximum amount of hold. Typically when I am styling my hair, I'll apply damp hair unless it's like some sort of really waxy product. This stuff and Paradox, it's important that you apply it in dry hair. I feel like it works the best because the way that the product works is it stays flexible throughout the day and easy to restyle. If you put water in your hair, it gives you a little bit of a harder hold, but I feel like the endurance seems to taper off at the end of the day. So anyways, let's get into it even more. Popping this open, you can see, if you're familiar with Paradox, it has a similar kind of like that creamy, shiny look that Paradox has, and when you scoop, it also has a similar kind of like goopiness to it if you look. See how it's kind of like goopy? So yeah, I'm taking a huge scoop, by the way. Actually, you know what? You know what? For all the people out there that always hate on me for taking a huge scoop, I'm going to take a little one first. Breakdown is, it feels almost like you're breaking down conditioner in your hair. Like there's some texture to it, like some thickness, but it doesn't feel like you're breaking down really anything. It just feels sticky on your hands. Now, the scent is the cucumber melon, or cucumber crisp cologne. I believe I call it cucumber melon, but it's like a cucumber cologne, which is the standard in the Goon Grease category. If you haven't smelt that, it's one of their best scents. It's like a crisp cucumber scent with like a slight cologne, like bite at the end, and it's very nice, very masculine. But you know, females could wear it too, actually, come to think of it, because of the melon scent. It's like, just overall one of my favorite Lockhart scents. It's really nice. Yeah. So yeah, just break it down. What you saw was easy. Application is easy too. This product, I'm just going to get into it while I apply. This product is very similar in regards to Paradox. If you are not a fan of Paradox, then I can tell you right here and now, you're not going to like it. I can also say that although they have similar holds on the side, I feel like the Goon Grease is, in regards to Paradox, which is kind of the step up from it in the water-based realm, the Lockhart's water-based realm, that the Goon Grease water base is definitely a step up and firmer. It acts firmer, and it feels overall like it has better hold and endurance. Now, like it says on the side, I'm layering this stuff in. To me, much like my main issue with Paradox, is that I feel like the way the particular recipe and the way that this stuff works is that it's on the lighter side. Just the Paradox in general was on the lighter side. I wouldn't say it was a disappointment. I actually really like that product, but you know, what Lockhart's was looking to do was to find something that, oh piss, all my stuff is falling, piss. What Lockhart's was looking to do with Paradox and also the Goon Grease water base is to make something that's easy to restyle, that doesn't necessarily 100% harden like a Suavecito or something like that. And so because of that, they made a unique design. It's a little bit different than most of the gel types. If you haven't, I would say check out my review on Paradox. You kind of will get a foothold up. Now my hair is kind of acting weird here. I could normally apply a little bit more because I was wearing a hat all day, so don't let that persuade you. Combing it back, you'll see that there's some resistance because this is already starting to firm up from me messing around and talking too much and knocking crap off. But yeah, there's going to be some resistance when combing back. The comb that I'm using today, well, the combs I'm going to be using today, because people always ask me, I started using these carbon fiber combs from, it's from Chicago Comb Company, and man, they are really cool. They feel like plastic, but I don't know. Anyways, check those out if you want to see what my new stuff is. I'm slicking this stuff back right now. You can see it's already starting to harden up a little bit. We're going to hit it with the Afro pick to get a little bit of volume to this. Slick it down right there. Get some height. My natural hair is kind of taking over. And this is one thing I can say when it comes to the Paradox and the Goon Grease water base, just with the the way that the recipe is made, is that I feel like I was saying earlier, you need to apply a lot in order to get it to stay. And that isn't really a bad thing, but you know, if you're wearing your hair a certain way all day like I've been doing, and you go to put this stuff in, it's a little bit harder to do without water. I'm actually gonna go put some water in my hair real quick. Alright, I added a little bit of water to it to give my hair some flexibility. Typically I would say put it in dry hair, but since I've been wearing a hat all day, my hair is kind of doing whatever I want to. Also, as I said, I'm using the Chicago Comb pick, which feels just the same as the normal comb, which is pretty legit. So, anyways, getting this in here. Because it's wet, it's going to look shinier, but there is an okay amount of shine. I would say that, to me, it doesn't seem like something that you would really necessarily see with the Goon grease, like, because you know how Goon grease is like pretty damn shiny. To me, as a water base, it isn't super shiny, but there's definitely some shine to it. Putting it in dry, you will get some pretty decent endurance throughout the day. Definitely in comparing this to Paradox, which is what I have to compare it to, because I can't compare it to Suavecito, I can't compare it to like really anything else, because it's trying to be the Lockhart's version of a firm of what the recipe they already have. So my overall thoughts on this are, I think it's pretty good. I like that, you know, you can wet your hair down or just like run a comb through your hair throughout the rest of the day, and it stays flexible. It isn't necessarily to the cool grease level of flexibility, but it's definitely flexible. Don't mind my cowlick in the back, my hair is growing out now. But it stays flexible. There's some nice shine. The endurance is pretty good when you put it in dry hair. The endurance stays pretty good if you put as much product as I did in my hair and put a little bit of water in it. But as you add water throughout the day to restyle, if you want that flexibility, you know, if you have some, like for me, I was wearing that hat and so my hair was going a certain way, or if you have wavy hair, you're gonna lose some endurance the more water you add to it. And, you know, sacrifice the endurance for the flexibility. I definitely think that this is a step up, even though it says it's the same amount of hold as the Paradox. I definitely think it's a step up from that. I definitely feel like when layered, it turns into a firmer product. So I think it's good when it comes to the firmness of the overall product. I think the shine is okay. Honestly, I think there could be a little bit more shine when in regards to what it's talking for Goon grease. Like for me, the shine's fine. Like it doesn't bother me. But in regards to the Goon grease brand, I think it could have been a little bit shinier. And yeah, like I said earlier, if you don't like Paradox, you are not gonna like this. That's just like, I'm sorry. Like if you were looking forward to Goon grease water-based and you didn't like Paradox, then you're not gonna like this. I personally like Paradox, so I personally like this as well. Overall, if I have to rate the Goon grease water-based, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I think it's good. I think it's definitely, in comparison to, like I said, the Paradox, I think that it's a step up in the hold and the shine and the endurance. I think that it retains all of the good things that I liked about Paradox, where it's easy to use, it's easy to restyle, the flexibility of the product is still there, and then I think it also retains some of the things that some of the criticisms that I didn't necessarily like about Paradox, which is that you have to apply a little bit more and that it's lighter in hold overall, just as a product. So really, what you get outweighs the negatives of it, and I think that overall, I think this is a pretty decent attempt to make Goon grease into a water-based. So anyways, and also, I mean, it goes without saying because it's a water-based, but I don't want to make any assumptions. It's really easy to wash out. So anyways, guys, if you have any questions or want to talk about it, leave it in the comment section below, and have a good one.